on this episode of Cape Media News.
Ready to go.
A new option for health care as the Community Health Center of Cape Cod opens a brand new location. The Barnstable Board of Health delays decision on wastewater regulation changes. The Kennedy Center Annual College Theater Festival comes to Cape Cod, and we'll tell you why one Cape Cod woman is taking the plunge. These stories and more. This is Cape Media News. This is Cape Media News, your local, authentic community newscast for Cape Cod. I'm Sarah Colvin. Welcome to the show. We have a great show for you today. We'll talk about accessible health care, water protection regulations, college theater, and share the story of a woman who's been taking a dip in cold Cape Cod waters every day since the beginning of the year. We start this morning in Centerville. The Community Health Center of Cape Cod is a nonprofit organization that cares for all patients regardless of their ability to pay. It has locations in Mashpee, Falmouth, and Bourne, and just opened a brand new location in Centerville. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held Thursday morning. Cape Media News was there. Patients seeking health care on the Mid-Cape now have a new option. Community Health Center of Cape Cod opened the doors of its new Centerville location on Thursday, January 31st.
Ready to go.
Community Health Center of Cape Cod's new location will offer walk-in medical care, behavioral health, and dental services to Cape Codders, regardless of their ability to pay.
Obviously, we have a number of low-income people who live in this area, particularly the Mid-Cape area, Barnstable, all the way out to Yarmouth, and this will be another opportunity for them to be able to get immediate, urgent health care and a variety of services.
Community health centers exist to improve the health of the population, regardless of ability to pay. We're over the top excited about being able to be more accessible to our patients in this Barnstable Centerville region. Right now we have about 2,300 patients in the community, but that is a growing number. So to be able to provide 100% open access for everyone has just been amazing.
Very excited to see this space. It's just another opportunity for us to expand our services and really service our patient base. We do have about 2,300 patients here in Centerville, and so this is about providing them with better access to quality, compassionate care.
Community members toured the new facility at the ribbon cutting, checking out spaces for medical exams and dental care.
One of the large benefits of the health center is that we have services all under one roof. So medical, dental, behavioral health, vision services, enabling services, and so many more things.
It's great to have community health centers in the Centerville area. Always very much of a great need for more urgent care services. These people are state-of-the-art when it comes to urgent care services. There's more to come. There'll be dental services, telemedicine, which I am a very big fan of, big supporter of that. So it's great to have them here in the Centerville area.
It's important to the Community Health Center of Cape Cod to provide its patients with state-of-the-art technology.
We are and try to be at the cutting edge of the delivery of medical services. Telehealth is a big thing now that's sweeping across the country. We're very proactive with that, and we have a few different telehealth programs that we offer, and that's just going to grow.
So telepsychiatry, access to a counselor via video conferencing as well. Ultimately, you'll be able to check in with your primary care through that same video technology as well. In the near future, we'll be adding teleretinal exams and also teledermatology exams as well. So for some of those specialists that are hard to reach, we're trying to make everything a little bit more accessible for our patients.
Some of that technology includes a digital translator that will help improve communication between patients and providers.
We see a lot of patients who don't speak English. There's people who speak a variety of different languages, and what it does is essentially serves as a middleman between the patient and the provider.
CEO Karen Gardner says a benefit of the Community Health Center model is that they screen patients when they arrive, not just for clinical need, but also for any barriers to access.
Whether they need help in applying for health insurance or veterans benefits or food stamps, or if they have housing insecurity, if they need employment assistance, to help them get in the right direction and reduce some of those barriers so that they can focus truly on improving their overall health.
Community is the first word in the organization's name for a reason. The mission is to improve the health of the community, and the new Centerville location will help to accomplish that goal.
Congratulations to our management team and our staff. They've done a great job here, and they continue to do a great job, and really they inspire people like me to be on the board and do what we can to help. So congratulations to them and to our patients. This is going to be a great new opportunity for them as well. So it's a good day today.
Community Health Center of Cape Cod's Centerville office at 1185B Falmouth Road is now officially open to the public. For Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin. Community Health Center of Cape Cod's Centerville office currently offers primary and walk-in care services. Dental services will be offered later this year. The office is open Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Up next, the Barnstable Board of Health pushes pause on wastewater restriction regulation changes. And later, we'll tell you why one Cape Cod woman is braving the cold and dipping into the ocean every day.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Striking a balance between preserving our water resources and making room for development is a challenge, and the town of Barnstable's recent discussion to lift certain regulations has brought some controversy to town. The Board of Health tabled its discussion in January. Gabrielle Rossin reports.
A plan to lift certain wastewater regulations in Barnstable is on hold for now. Nearly 100 citizens attended the Barnstable Board of Health meeting on January 22nd to share thoughts on proposed changes to the town's saltwater estuary protection regulations.
What you're being asked to do by being asked to rescind this regulation is to allow for essentially unfettered increased nitrogen load on the south side. That's basically what can occur if you lift this regulation.
It's too early to take the step you've been asked to take until the comprehensive plan for this town is completed.
All I've ever known in 3 bays in my entire life is impaired waters. I've never seen the eelgrass that my friends' parents and grandparents talk about. And we see great progress with these different plans, and I think it would be a mistake to lift this entire regulation until we even see any improvement that may or may not result from any of these.
I think everybody in this room is working toward the same goal. We all want better water, whether it's drinking water or water in the estuaries. I think everybody is very passionate about that, and it's really just a matter in my mind of how do we get there? And I think the fear for many of the people who came in this room is that we're putting the cart before the horse.
It would be, again, as Councilor Raccosetti said, premature to lift this protection area when we're so close to having the final plan.
In his opening remarks, Board of Health Chair Paul Caniff suggested the town withdraw their motion, but Town Manager Mark Ells opposed the idea.
I do not feel that the townspeople want or need to be the subject of a supposed federal lawsuit or even the thought of a federal lawsuit. Since the interest now is with this so-called 500-foot commercial strip along Route 28, I would, at the end of the discussion, I would recommend that the Board of Health withdraw this request to modify the estuary regulation and for the town to come back with a new plan for this so-called 500-foot wide strip along Route 28.
I've been asked, as the chair appropriately identified, that this should be withdrawn. I am not comfortable with that because my concern is that this will not be discussed if this is withdrawn. and there are legitimate questions.
The Board of Health decided to set up a special committee to further examine the issue and to allow for time to make amendments to the initial proposal.
The quality of clean water is important to all of us, and how we handle our wastewater is equally important to all of us.
Yes, I support what the Board of Health has suggested, i.e. putting together a subcommittee, putting together further study to make sure that if in fact we ever do remove the overlay related issues, that it's done in the best interest of the town.
I think if they want to come back with something less restrictive, rather than lifting the entire thing, that has to come from a member of the Board of Health, and that discussion needs to take place at the Board of Health level.
I just asked the director or the chair to consider having some public input or a public expert to sit on that committee.
You know, this isn't creating a cup of tea. It's a little more complicated than that. So, you know, I'm pleased that we're all talking and we're all looking at what's best for our town and our future.
The Board of Health will continue the public hearing at its June 25th meeting. A revised amendment is due to the board at that time. For Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.
And the Board of Health will resume discussion of that topic in June. We'll keep you up to date with any changes. Up next, we'll take you inside the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival.
Do you know any teens dealing with anxiety, depression, or substance use issues? I do. My name is Stephanie Briety, and that's why I started Behavioral Health Innovators with my friend Mary Beth Schoening. Our mission is to solve these problems by listening to and working with teens themselves. The first message we heard loud and clear is that teens have no space where they can talk about these issues out in the open, and they are worried about their friends. We started an after-school program called Recovery Build that provides that space. Teens work with peer mentors to create fun, social activities and build healthy coping skills. Counseling is offered. Young people in our community have embraced Recovery Build. Friends bring friends to the program. We are looking for members and volunteers. Call or text us at 774-487-5227. To donate and learn more about our work, go to bhinnov.org. Peers who have gone through the same challenges are the best allies for teens. Reach out and bring your friends to Recovery Build. Thank you.
College theater students from all over New England and Northeast New York arrived in Barnstable this week for the regional Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival hosted by Cape Cod Community College. Gabrielle Rawson reports.
It's been said that all the world's a stage. This week, Cape Cod Community College is using their stage to host Region 1's Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival, a national theater program that unites more than 20,000 theater students from around the country with theater professionals.
We are celebrating the good work of the students from Region 1 in the New England region from the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival. So these are students from all the way from Maine to New York City, and we're celebrating all their good work that they've done for the last year and their host schools and production work. So there's a acting competition, design, so scenic, lighting, stage management, all that you can imagine. And the students are here to celebrate their good work.
Today really begins our workshops for students who are attending festival, workshops in everything from creating wrestling personas to playwriting to acting and performance. And also we have our Irene Ryan competition starting today. The Irene Ryan Acting Audition Scholarship Competition kicks off today with 4 rounds of auditions. After they perform their audition, they get to meet with visiting faculty and industry professionals and hear feedback. It's an opportunity for them to hear about their performance, the quality of their work, from someone who's never seen them perform before.
The KCACTF Festival helps students develop their theater skills and prepares them for a career in the industry.
This event is remarkable. I've done it for about 5 years, and there's multiple workshops, and I've learned from each and every one of them. And then I also competed in the Irene Ryans, and that was an unforgettable experience, honestly.
Just being able to put down that you've been a nominee for Irene Ryans or being a nominee for stage management or anything, when I send in that's something I put on my resume, and it's noticed right away.
As a tech person, I think it's really helpful with practical learning, because I learn a lot better doing stuff on hand, and I don't often get a lot of chance, because I'm a commuter at school and I work too, so I don't often get a lot of chance to just kind of sit and practice.
I'd actually like to pursue a stage management career, and I feel like through this internship I'm going to broaden my horizons and meet different people, make more connections.
It's just a really great way to share your creativity.
4Cs plans to host KCAC-TF for the next 2 years, a decision that benefits students and the local economy.
One of the exciting things about hosting festival here on Cape Cod in January is the economic boost. So when we are filling a conference center with 5 nights of hotel rooms, we're talking about over the course of each year about $1.5 million put into the local economy. So I think there's an economic benefit for sure. For our students, however, the arts are a core pillar of our society. You can trace it all the way back to the Greeks and the Romans, and even previously. Telling stories is how we, as a society, help understand the challenges that we face. So theater is one of those great ways that we get to tell each other's stories, tell our own stories, and having theater as a part of your higher education experience is not only a way to build a foundation to enter the field professionally, but in some ways it's just a matter of survival. Creating art is a great way to stay alive.
The Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival runs January 29th through February 2nd and is open to the public. For Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.
And Cape Cod Community College is in the first of a 3-year hosting contract. You'll be able to enjoy the festival again next year. Coming up next, we'll tell you why one Cape Cod woman is diving into the ocean every day. And later, Cape Media News is honored with a Creator Award. It's wintertime on Cape Cod and the water is cold. And while many celebrate the new year by dipping into the ocean for a polar plunge once, one woman has taken that plunge to a new level. She's dipping in the ocean every day. It started as a personal challenge, but now she's doing it to help a local organization that offers services to teenagers dealing with substance use issues. I met up with Talia Arone at Inman Beach to learn why she's diving and who she's diving for.
I like the adventure of it. I've been jumping in the ocean every single day since January 1st. I went for my daughter's school. They were doing a fundraiser and I loved it and it was exhilarating. And I woke up the next day and I said to my husband, I'm gonna go again. And I did. And then I woke up the day after that and the day after that. And I just kept going because I just love how it feels like a rebirth, cleansing, exhilarating.
The more she dove, the more notice she got, and then she realized it was time to dip for a cause.
The more that I kept doing it, people kept saying that I should find something to jump for, and I was like, okay, Kat, that's a good idea. Started going to the yoga teacher training, met Stephanie, learned about Recovery Build, and realized I found out what I want to jump for, so it's become more.
Talia teamed up with Stephanie Bryety to raise money for Recovery Build, an after-school program Stephanie founded to help kids dealing with substance use issues.
It's for students or young people with substance use challenges, other life challenges that they're going through, and we opened it up in April down in Hyannis at Peer Recovery. It's a program that It means a lot to me just to offer teenagers a safe, fun, sober space where they can learn more about substance use and other alternative behaviors, like jumping in the ocean, that can be just as exhilarating and more so.
Inspired by Talia, Stephanie jumped in the water on Monday and went in again the next day.
I'm just so honored to have Talia not only in the teacher training at Power Yoga of Cape Cod, but also my kind of inspiration.
The day after we taped this segment, Talia was hospitalized with a minor infection and had to miss her dive. But in her absence, several others took a dip of their own to help keep her streak alive. And for Talia and Stephanie and all the others dipping in the water during these cold Cape Cod months, it's the challenge that keeps them going.
That we can do hard things. That's it. It's that we can do hard things. It's just a feeling. It's actually more enticing for me the colder it is, the harder it is.
We lose people, young people, too often, and this is a reminder that it's okay to be afraid and take the plunge and go for it and continue that commitment, never let up, and just continue to, work as hard as we can to disrupt this epidemic.
Talia was back in the water on January 30th, and she'll keep jumping every day. For Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin. And you can support Talia's dive on First Giving. You can find that link on our Cape Media News Facebook page. Well, we are very pleased to announce that Cape Media News has won its first award. We were honored this week in Boston by Mass Access with a Creator Award for our Community Impact Series. Last summer, Cape Media News had the opportunity to ride along with Barnstable Police Officer Spencer Jackson to hear firsthand the challenges of dealing with the ongoing opioid crisis. We share with you now our award-winning segment. We are out on the road with Barnstable Patrol Officer Spencer Jackson to see what he sees on a typical summer night. Tonight we talk about substance abuse issues that make up the majority of police activity, issues that include the ongoing opioid crisis.
Yeah, things were quiet with overdoses over the winter. Recently we've had an overdose death 2 weeks ago in Hyannis. And then a kid that grew up here overdosed and died in New Bedford. There's been a couple around. It seems to be kind of picking up a bit. Over the spring it was quiet. We didn't go to as many overdose calls as we used to. Last summer we were doing them all the time, like almost every shift, couple of shifts. And now some of the ones we're getting are fatals.
The reason for the uptick in fatal overdoses, Jackson says, is fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that is much more potent than heroin. Drug users typically don't know when heroin is mixed with or replaced by the stronger and deadlier drug.
When I started on the job 5-6 years ago, you'd see a lot of heroin, and now all of the stuff that we're testing, the opiates that we're testing, are all fentanyl. When people use it, they can get a lot of fentanyl and overdose and die, or get nothing. It's so inconsistent, that's what makes it so dangerous. You take a quantity of that, you break it up, and you add your cut, and they mix it up, and you take a small quantity of that out. You don't know if it's a lot of fentanyl, no fentanyl, or anything in between. So you get very inconsistent amounts.
All it takes to fall into addiction is just one try.
There's no turning the clock back after you make the decision. I've talked to a lot of addicts that regret for their entire life ever making the first move of, shooting heroin for the first time, and their life it's never the same after that. They're always chasing that high. It's never the same. And they can be clean for a bit, but some of these people will always go back. So it's a really kind of like alters your mental status once you do that first shot.
While the battle against the opioid crisis continues on the streets, alcohol remains the top problem substance in town.
Going to C Street for an intoxicated male. We deal with this guy all the time. Heavy alcoholic.
Jackson says nearly 60% of the calls he responds to on a nightly basis are alcohol related.
It's huge.
RP stated he's in his apartment now, but was stumbling.
The amount of intoxicated person calls we go on.
IP.
Obviously I work eve shift, but it's pretty ridiculous. Several times a shift, every day. People just drinking to an absurd level and causing enough problems that police get called to resolve that.
And it's not just a problem in the busy summer months.
We have our homeless population, which is a large population, and most of them have drug or alcohol issues, or both, mental health issues. So they do the same thing year-round, abuse drugs and alcohol, especially the alcohol abuse to a ridiculous level all the time. Obviously, normal people drink more in the summer, but which can cause problems, and obviously our population booms, so summer's busy with that.
A Barnstable County study released in 2015 indicates 8% of Cape Cod's population is dependent on alcohol, compared to 3% dependent on opioids.
The amount of people that suffer from alcoholism and how difficult it is, or how difficult it makes people's lives, because it ruins their lives and they just can't get away from it. We see these same people that we place in protective custody hundreds of times in their life. It's all the time. Same people getting PC'd all the time, protective custody all the time, because they get inebriated and...
Do you feel like they're getting the help they need?
If they want it. I think, the help is definitely there. Services are there. But you can't make the horse drink water,
Yeah.
So
True.
if they want it, the help is there. But a lot of them don't want it, or deny the issue, or just think it's a part of their life and wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know.
Spencer Jackson is a Barnstable Police Patrol Officer. This is Community Impact on Cape Media News.
Step it up.
And thank you to the Barnstable Police Department, Lieutenant John Murphy and Officer Spencer Jackson for their cooperation. And thanks to Cape Media News producer Thomas Milkey for his work on this segment. And of course, thank you to Mass Access for their work in supporting community access television here in Massachusetts. Much more to come. That brings this edition of Cape Media News to a close. Stay warm out there and follow us on our Facebook page. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting local, authentic community news. For Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin.